everybody, we're live. Thank you so much for joining us so early. We were facing a couple of technical difficulties, but we're hoping there's nothing else getting in our way tonight. But I am going to hand it over to our Bludgeon master, which is what I'm going to say every Saturday from now on. So over to you, Tejas.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of this Bludgeon session. Chai, Dosti, or Gupshup. I guess we're ready to begin. There's no point delaying any further. So let's go. Is that it, Chai? Because I envy you. I should have had mine. Anyways, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right. Vaanarprastha, capital of the indomitable Vaanar. Well, indomitable till the unity came to their borders, and the rulers of the city negotiated a peaceful coexistence. But that's really not the point. So you know what? Let me try that again. Vaanarprastha, capital of the mighty Vaanar. I mean, not entirely so. I mean, the hero of the city is Raya, and she was known for her brains and not her brawn. In fact, you can see her statues almost everywhere in the city, standing tall and proud, her simple robes flowing over her, and just the barest hint of a mischievous, all-knowing grin on her face. But the point is, she's skinny, not really a paragon of strength. Moreover, the Vaanar have historically almost had this competitive urge to try and outsmart their enemies, sometimes even their friends. But again, I digress. So let's try that one more time. Vaanarprastha, capital of the arboreal Vaanar. City rebuilt at least twice in its history, and now in desperate need of a good trimming, seeing as how large it's gotten. The city stretches halfway across the forest, and then some. It spans all the way up to the very tree tops, where the affluent will conduct their Surya Namaskars, so that the water from their pyalis will sprinkle down onto those below. Trickle-down economics in full display right there. This is the lush city of greens and ladders, of platform markets and hand-drawn elevators. It's a city that's loud, raucous, and an absolute delight to explore. But that's not where you begin. No. Far from the opulence of the Taj district, you start your adventure under this marvelous city. Within the Judd district's many newly discovered gold mines. In fact, not too far in is an excavated area that's now become home to an impromptu dwarven market. Here is T. Howard Raju's Chai shop, where you're all seated. Adorned in a few shields of nondescript design, but with many a dent, this chai shop and the owner are an adventurer's best friend. Not only is the chai ekdam kadak, but so is Raju's penchant for connecting mercenaries like yourselves with people who require their services. And that's why you're here. Raju has kind of gone in touch with you and told you that there's someone who wants to talk to you. And here you are, sitting right outside his shop, having a bit of chai, waiting, when all of a sudden you hear from behind you Raju's voice, gruff. Are chotu, do chai. And you hear from somewhere nearby, can't really make out where Chotu is, but it's a very annoyed voice that responds. Are chotu tera baap, aa raha hu. And you see, just hopping along is a small pygmy Vaanar, barely 1.5 feet high, carrying 2 chais that would be, palm-sized for you, but for him, he's carrying them like they're big barrels. And so we open, having chai with everyone. Kshema, why don't you start first? What does Madame Muggermuch look like?
So, usually Madame Muggermuch looks extremely manicured, She has like a press, really like nicely pressed sari that she would like have just put over her shoulder. She'd have like this golden bindi that's on her forehead. And she'd always carry a book in a disciplined manner. But at this moment, sitting at this chai shop, there are numerous holes in her lovely linen. That bindi is stuck under her eye instead. And her book seems to be slightly battered, like it was used for warding off something. And as she's sitting over there and she's drinking this chai, she takes a sip and immediately spits it out and she's like, I said I wanted more sugar, no. What are you afraid of, that I'll die because of this or what? I look at Chotu and say, it's like these little boys, no. What are you doing here?
I am getting your chai, madam. Wait, just wait. I can only carry so much.
But what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at school?
Chotu looks at it excited. Madam, how old do you think I am? Chotu, I'm not young. Just vertically challenged. That's it. Please understand.
Man may be chote now. And then I look at him and I'm just like, these children, they never grow up on me. Sometimes, I'm telling you, this boy over here, he ran away from his school also, and that's how he ended up here. That's how you ended up here, no? You ran away and then suddenly you were like, wait, if I can spend the rest of my life just giving chai to people, wow, that'll be wonderful, no? I can talk to so many people, find out their stories, I don't need to do my exams. And she's just like rambling on, okay? And in her, like, she has like sticking out of her book just like a bookmark, and the bookmark has nothing but her name written on it, and written in elegant calligraphy is Madam Muggermuch. And that's who I'm playing tonight.
That's perfect. Chotu walks away. This thode gali dekar, he's like, fine, fuck it, I'm out of here.
As Chotu is walking away, could like Ajayraz just he palms a coin from his pocket, puts it on his tail, and just puts it on his tray and gives him a wink. Says, "It's okay. She's going through a lot."
Yeah, you do that. His like tiny little tail kind of wraps around the coin, and he just kind of tucks it around him, and then walks away like as quickly as possible to get away from like this onslaught that is Madam Muggermuch. But on that note, Ajay, what do you look like?
Yeah. Ajay is like this outburst from Madam Muggermuch was the only thing that like took his attention to this table, because he was bored out of his mind before this. The chai that he ordered is like a big tankard, but it has a very small amount of chai. The rest he's just surreptitiously put a lot of booze in it. If Madam Muggermuch has asked him once or twice, he just, this is Irish tea. This is how they drink it there. It's fine. This is me learning new experiences. You're a teacher. I mean, I assume.
Smell only is giving me a headache. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, I would point out your sari and the holes, but that seems mean. Yeah. Ajay is like a medium height Daitya. He has like very shiny horns. He has dark blue skin. He has a breastplate, a green loincloth, and parts of his chest, on his shoulders, there are red matted fur. Is it his original color? Is it blood? Even he doesn't know. Yeah, his right now he's just bored out of his mind again. Now this outburst is gone. He's just I'd say he's playing with a bird that he knows very well, that's just hovering near them. He's playing with his tail. His tail has spikes on him, so it's probably not a good idea, but nobody's stopped him before.
Alrighty, and that bird belongs to Shweta's character. What are you doing, Shweta?
Hello, I am cringing really, really hard at Madam Muggermuch and Ajay's fight. Before that, I was cringing at Madam Muggermuch's speech to the boy. And before that, I was cringing at, the whole Chote, come here sort of thing. So she's like a very scared, shy sort of person who is watching her bird fly above Ajay and is like, no, come back. I don't think he likes you. And like when she lifts her hand up, you see her fingertips are golden, and she has these sparkling blue veins, and her bird as well matches that sort of color and is sparkling in the sky. And she's wearing a simple sari, a very simple outfit, and trying to be not hidden exactly, but trying not to get attention to herself, and is not being helped by her companions at all. who are just loudly talking to each other. So she's just sitting there like, okay, I can disappear into myself. I can do that. That's my safe place. And she's gonna just sit that way.
Awesome. And as loud as your companions may be, nothing is as loud as your last companion. A rare Yantralok. Aadi, describe your Yantralok.
Well, the only reason there's any sort of like sound happening from Kaka Navachar, SN Char's direction is that there's just a lot of birds like just flying around, like a couple that have landed on him and have just kind of like, started like resting. One is just like pecking down on the shoulder as this robot with very straight faceplate, like there's a bit of a raise towards the temple and coming back down. No nostrils as such, and a very just straight line as a mouth, though he still manages to convey enough emotion with his general sense of movement because he is rather short. I mean, he's not extremely a large construct. He's about 5'10", but the bald dome head is reflects and it. He is wearing these kind of orange robes that kind of cover one shoulder and go down. And he's sitting in the lotus pose on this chair where everyone is, and he's very calmly just like closed eyes, sitting and sipping tea, and is like, I don't know what this is supposed to taste like, but is this good? Like, is this good tea? And looks around,
Nice
and like
shit.
if you look closely into the orange weave of his robe, you will see a very discerning people with a slightly leftwards leaning eye might see like not saffron kind of imprinted slightly in it, but that is the extent of it. But otherwise, he just like sips tea, very is very. I don't know what this is, but is it good tea?
No, it isn't. It needs booze. You need to live a little, Kaka.
I have tried the substance that you have long been a proponent of, Ajay, and I must admit, it gives me a little more lubrication at times, but otherwise, it does not add in any way.
I don't care how you use it. Just, up to you how you want to use it. You want to use it as a drink, as a lubricant.
It is internal as well. The effects can speak through the planes and move you into motion. Is it not?
Yeah, I'm already
Simply
bored
do
of
not
this.
try these things with me. Simply do not try these things with me. I am not in the mood.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are
I
happy.
look at Madam Magarmach and Amugu and say, is there anything that's fun that's gonna happen? Are we gonna meet someone? You said we were gonna meet someone, right?
Already? First of all, we went to that jungle and we were like, okay, let's get out of this. But you were like, no. Those people are just chumma sitting there. Why are they just chumma sitting there? We should go and hit them. And first of all of us were just like, why? Okay, why should we go and hit them? But no, you had to be like, exert dominance, da. Show them what is good. I don't understand you sometimes, Ajay. Like we could have just walked from there. Maybe they would have given us cart also. Maybe this coffee would have been better if we went to some other place. Don't worry, Kaka. This is waste coffee. Terrible coffee.
It's chai. It is
Peach
chai.
has it. It is chai. Peach has it. You hear T. Howard Raju going.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. This
I'm sorry. I thought I ordered coffee. I'm sorry.
Singular best chai in the Judd district. Okay.
My bad, sir. Sorry.
I will take both your words for it because I do not have any taste buds. So, but it is to make a point, Madam Magarmach. I will have to remind you that if it were not for our friend Ajay's overtly forward-thinking manner, I would not have woken up. Seeing that it was his bonk that woke me up from my meditation.
See,
Hey,
that and all, I'm happy
see.
for you, okay? But I'm just saying, unnecessary violence is unnecessary. That's all.
Please, please, Madam Magarmach, just speak a little softer. The entire restaurant can hear you at this point.
I am school teacher
No, I
and
mean,
lecturer.
I'd say
I
it's
can meet the
speaking too
teachers.
slow.
I'm sorry. I'm
No.
sorry. I forget I'm not in the classroom sometimes. Like it's hard to break old habits, and like contracts. But that's like a different matter altogether. Okay, I understand. I'll be
No wonder
good.
they ran away. I mean, what?
See,
I just like look very straight, blank face, robot face at Turner Ajay and is like, was that necessary? Was that entirely necessary?
I'm sorry.
You
Lord.
simply, my young man, you try and do so many things at one time. This I will tell you. Even though I am thankful for having disturbed me from my 100 years of meditation. I believe at least it would have reached 100 years, but like my internal chronometer told me that it was 99 minutes away from being 100 years, but I was stopped. But yet, I am thankful. Thank you.
Hey, you're alive now. Yeah, I know. You're welcome.
Sitting peacefully in a forest sounds really good, doesn't it, Ajay?
Nah, I mean, unless there are a lot of people to like fight, talk with, or something. I don't know. Sounds boring. Unless there's like a party in a forest.
Years, it gets much more bearable after the first 50 years.
I have to say.
You get used to the quiet.
But seriously, Kaka sir, like nobody like came and disturbed you before that. Like how did you even manage like in one spot like environmentalism or something didn't happen, like you didn't have people coming and being like, no sir, please move, we want to build some construction here, or somebody else go like, no sir, you are ruining the peace of the sanctity of this, this little park here by sitting right in the middle and scaring off people by pretending to be a statue when you're not.
Yeah.
Did Moss know?
And also, how did you poop the whole time?
I do not poop. Yantralog do not have such functions. I only ingest these things because I am seeking movement, but I will never have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say eat more for better movement. But,
I shall, which is why I endeavor to do so. You'd remember that Kaka like tries, whatever is offered for him to eat or drink, he'll just like very readily consume.
While you guys are having this conversation, T. Howard walks up behind you, and T. Howard himself is like very, like he's the dwarf's dwarf, big, burly. He's got this thick, black beard that he's braided into like two big braids. The muscles and scarring on him are significant. This is someone who's probably either been in the mines and been in scuffles, or maybe just been an adventurer once upon a time. Who knows? But right now, he's quite happy doing his little kind of connections business, getting a little bit of a commission on top. And behind him is standing another Vana. He's tall, got the typical kind of bearings of a Vana, stands quite tall and proud, and he's wearing like just a light jacket without the sleeves and like a simple dhoti. Raju looks to you guys, is like, okay guys, this is your contact. This is money. Be nice to him. Money, once they're done, I get the 30%. We know the deal. We'll talk later. And Money basically drags a stool over and sits down next to you and says, okay, it's nice to meet all of you guys. I hope you guys are ready for a slightly interesting venture.
Yes, right now, let's go. I slap him on the back and start to get up.
He is what again? Sorry?
He's a Vana as well.
A Vana.
I bent over to Mugu. I'm like, Who is this chap? Like, I didn't remember saying we're agreeing to sign another contract.
Contract? Like, we have to go beat up people now? You know, I don't
No.
do it.
I don't want anybody to beat up anyone. I just want you guys to basically make sure that we're safe. Okay, you know what? Let me start from the top. Like, so I represent and I'm part of the miners union, and he points further down the mines where, so you guys are in like kind of the entrance to the mines where it's like this semi covered spot where all the dwarves have their different shops, and further down is where the mines are. So he points down that way. It's like, so the miners union, I represent them, and tomorrow we're going to be having an event where the Unity subsector head is going to be coming for an event tomorrow, and I mean he's got his security and all that, so this is not to do with him. But the union has heard some murmurings that there could be some radicals who are planning to kind of maybe upset the event, make a point because they're unhappy with the Unity, or maybe just this guy. And
you want us to beat him up?
oh
Beat them
God,
up.
no.
No?
We just want to make sure that the miners, like the people we represent, are okay. So if anything happens, obviously the guards for the subsector head will take care of him, but usually nobody really cares about the miners, and that's why we just want a group of capable people like yourselves, or at least that's what Raju said, to kind of just make sure that the miners are taken care of, so no harm comes to any of our members.
But if a few ruffians are beaten up, coincidentally, somewhere.
Sure, I guess. I mean, like, the main thing for me is just our people are taken care of. That's it. That's all I care about.
As Mr. Raju always insists on the 30% cut of whatever his contacts bring in, he is most assured to only present professionals who would be capable of doing this job, Mr. Money.
I don't know. I mean, this is the first time I'm using his services. But he tells me 30% is standard, and I figured
You
that's.
believe him? And you believe him? Nah, okay.
The rates have changed in the years. It has gone inflation, I believe it is called.
Could you roll deception, Abhishek,
Okay.
and add your guile to this?
Okay, guile, and I have deceive.
Yeah,
Maybe I
same
could
thing.
add that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, first
So
roll of the
that's-
stream.
Yes. what's the first
It's
round?
deceive. Yes.
It's the first roll.
Yeah.
It is to basically gaslight this dude into thinking he got ripped off.
Perfect.
D20 is a 16.
Mhm.
The D6, 1D6 is 6,
Ooh,
and I add +1.
23.
Oh, and this is guile, right? This is guile, right?
Yes, guy.
Okay, so a 1D4 because I have shiny horns,
Ooh.
Oh.
which is a 4.
Oh
I don't
my
know if you
God.
can see this yet.
27.
It's a
That is
Nice.
nuts. 27 total.
Okay, you see money
This-
just like being like, yes, sir, yeah, okay. Anyways, I'll see you guys here tomorrow. I'll let you in to the event. I'll make sure you don't have to worry about passes or anything. I'm just gonna come back, and you see him walk away to go talk to.
Before
Raju.
you go to Raju,
Yeah.
could you like do it within earshot and so that we can see and hear it? Because we want to know what the standard practice is against this thing. And I like elbow whoever is next to me from this should be good. Ah, finally something.
Is anybody supporting this?
I am like,
I think like he's elbowed Yantralog though. Like so I'm just going to wait, like look at them and see what they're trying to do.
What is it that you want me to say in this moment? Please tell me again.
Nothing.
Oh
nothing.
no! In that
Shut
case,
up.
we'll say
Shut
Money
up
has
and
walked
look at
away,
this.
and like from the slight distance that you guys are on at, you see Money and Raju beginning to have an increasingly intense conversation, which begins kind of
Right.
normally,
Right,
and then
right.
The facial expressions get a little more stern. The gesticulating gets a little bit more aggressive. And we'll say that by the end of it, there's a little bit of a shouting match that you guys can overhear, where you hear words thrown out like, absolutely insane, standard practice, stuff like, this is a bloody ripoff. And it becomes a bit of a scene for just a bit, and then finally both of them realize that they've made a scene, decide to kind of calm down, and then go at least Money has to leave because this is Raju's shop. And we'll call that a scene. We'll say that that's how your day ends there. You guys kind of go to wherever you guys go to rest up. And we'll continue the next day where you come back to the mines.
Before that, can I just ask, Madam,
yeah.
while we're still at the tea shop and as we see them arguing, I'm going to turn to Madam and say, okay, so let me get this right. We will go to a site.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be miners there. We will look at the miners, and there'll be other people who might hurt the miners. And so what we'll be doing is when people come to hurt the miners, we will look at those people and say, no, stop.
Amazing, no? They think we're strong. They think that all of us over here are bodyguards, especially us. Can you imagine? They just saw us and they're like, oh, they can beat people up. I've never been a bodyguard before. This is exciting in a way, no?
I can't even guard my own body. What are you talking about? I can't beat people up.
No. That is what Ajay is.
Perhaps it is just to ascertain. It is just to ascertain the nature of what these people intend to do, whether they do actually intend to sabotage any of the proceedings happening. And
if they don't, we could instigate them and then fight them.
If they could be convinced to move in another way, then that is always a good thing.
Move when they're coming towards the miners, we will stand between them and the miners and say no, other direction. And they listen to us.
With an axe to the face, yes.
That is not what he said. He said there is no violence.
You need to be assertive when required. That's all. But mostly, Mugu, just let Ajay and Taka sir stand in front. Okay, we're here for that free lunch we'll get at the end of it. So mostly it's just standing.
Whether it is oppositional or just reflectional in direction, as long as the movement leads to resolution of the current situation, I believe we should venture forth.
As this fight was going on, it noticeably starts to ember down, right? So, could I try one more thing before it was over? I'll look at Madam Magarmach and say, because knowing that my discord that I had sown is kind of going away, I'll look at her and say, in a way, those two are like unruly kids. I mean, if only there was a teacher there to scold them and tell them their place, but
I don't
know.
Oh, discipline! This is so exciting. I can bring discipline into the job. I didn't think of this before. I should have thought.
Teacher.
See, in school, they say you shouldn't hit children and all. They took away our rulers also. They were like, no. You can get other scales for measuring. You don't need scales for measuring how much a child can take.
The best way to discipline a child is with a spiked bat, I'd say. And
I sense a disturbance in all the planes of motion. There is a disturbance in the force. As soon as you said, there's a slight quaver.
Are you finally digesting? It's just like
Might
that.
Possibly just be.
This is like that play, Kaka sir. There was this play called Constipation, but it never came out.
Indeed. Very moving material.
Sure. But okay, so if everyone is okay with this, see, I honestly, I'm okay right now, okay? So I don't want to say it, but I'm kind of on a vacation right now. The students might have run away, but Technically, no
But
one's
you have
asked for
new
them.
students. You have new
Oh,
students now. Those two, in those two.
if I
As you're
get
still
new
trying to
students,
salvage.
if they're
Yeah.
better than the old students, that could be good. That is
I mean,
interesting.
and these ones you can just discipline. They're like grown adults.
But as it is,
Are you asking
once
Madam?
a teacher, always a teacher.
But she can't discipline adults in a non-school environment.
It's okay, Mugu. Like, the rules are a little lenient in these places. That's why.
Life is meant to be learned.
That makes no sense in this context. What do you even mean? That makes no sense in this context, Kaka.
Well, if you are to look at all of existence as a space where we can move towards learning and knowledge, what is that but a place of teaching and learning? Who is
Sorry.
teaching at the moment? It's very different.
But are we going to teach those hooligans to not beat up the minors? This would be a multi-day event.
I assume by this point the two have like settled their argument, settled their
Yeah.
scene.
I'll say that at this
Ajay
point.
has his head in his hand. Oh, golden opportunity. Oh, there's some action today. A little bit.
Haven't you done enough? You disturbed this man from his slumber. He only had 99 minutes to go before he could achieve inner peace. Haven't you done enough for your entire lifetime?
No.
That's okay.
I do not hold it against our friend Ajay. There is harmony in movement is achieved only through time. And time will always take you through. Of course, it helps if you do not age and are otherwise immortal, but otherwise also it works.
Yeah, I'm bored. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I noticed that Yantra log have only like 3 fingers. So
Wow.
I've been kind of like I've been method acting like in some
Oh
of the
my
things.
God, that's
Yeah,
I mean-
it's like 3 fingers.
Different constructions. So yeah, you can come from a 3-fingered line of Yadruluk. Alright. So we open with the next day. You guys have come back to the mines. You pass Raju's shop where he just kind of gives you a very tired wave. You see Chotu running around trying to get glasses to people. I will say that Mugu would know this, and maybe even Ajay, because you've been around. Chotu is actually like old. He's probably older than Raju. He's just small. But yeah, you move further into past the little dwarven shop area, and you start to notice there's quite a crowd. There's a lot of people heading down this way. There's you notice that quite a few of them are miners as well. They are in essentially their work clothes. Most of them are probably either headed back to their shift or going to be starting their shift. There's a few people that look much better dressed. Clearly, they've not been in a mine because you see them kind of shying away from some of the miners, trying to keep their clothes as clean, staying away from the walls. And you meet Money here. He leads you in and takes you past a few mine shafts into this large open space, much larger than where the dwarves are. And it seems like this is kind of like where the core of the mining operations are. And whatever happens here on a regular basis has been changed entirely. There you see tables and all kinds of equipment that's just stacked off on the sides. A little makeshift podium has been constructed with a few nice chairs with little white cloth over it, where different dignitaries are seated. You see the obvious guards just standing around, keeping an eye out, looking big and thuggish, more of a guerrilla variant of the Vanner. And you guys kind of move in, and Money, while leading you here, is just kind of explaining, yes, this is the mine shafts. If you pay attention to this is where the most recent gold deposits were discovered, just giving you like idle chit-chat just so to fill the silence. He mentions that a lot of the Vanar miners take the vertical shafts, and he points up, and you see these almost sheer mine shafts that just go up, but it's got these little metal rungs bolted into the sides, and you can tell that Vanar can like hold on to this with their tails and mine in ways that most other species would not be able to. He leads you.
How
Mhm.
fast would you say a Warner can go up these vertical shafts, like time-wise?
Time-wise, it'd take a bit of effort because they're still climbing, and the rungs that are placed here and there are not always perfect, so they will still have to try and hold on to the sides of the wall. But I'd say, from here to wherever each one ends or where it levels out, it could take anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
And another question. Given that I'm a skilled tinkerer and that I'm proficient with field repairs,
Yeah.
as we were kind of passing all of the miners, I was taking a look at just their level of equipment. Like, does it seem like it's well maintained? Does it seem like this is like more legit, or is it like more shoddy in the sense that the equipment isn't maintained and like stuff like that?
You see a mix. Overall, the equipment doesn't look like it is, the high-end tools, but they look sturdy, and a lot of them look really well worn. A few people seem to have taken care of their instruments. You see, they've been cleaned and oiled and buffered, but for the most part, it's just kind of dirty. People keeping it as they would, not really taking care of whatever tools they have. Moving further into the space, Money leads you into around the back of the crowd and says, "Okay, guys, you can recognize the miners by their garb, obviously. So just keep them safe, please. I'm gonna go find the other union heads, and I'll come back. And come back maybe halfway through the speech and talk to you guys just to check in. Is that cool? Anything else that you guys need? There's some water in the back," and he just points to a table where there's some canteens and little water glasses.
Do you need protection?
I mean, I fall under the general grouping of the miners, so ideally, if anything were to happen to me, I would hope that you guys would be nearby.
Then you should be near us, I'd say.
I will try to be, but I'm part of the union. I have to kind of handle a lot of stuff.
So
yeah,
do you
it's
want one of us to be with you?
if that's okay, if one of you has the time, I wouldn't mind it.
Would you be roaming around any of these ruffians by any chance? Nearby? Near them?
You mean the bodyguards?
Not the bodyguards, the people who you think will come, but for to whom we can that could be collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. Well, most of the ruffians, as far as I understand, would be, the people I'm here to represent, the miners. So I don't think they'll be the element. I think what you want to watch out for is the non-miners. What little intel we have is that these radicals are just gonna come in and try and disrupt the event. We're not sure what their end goal is. We've just heard rumors from friends of friends or acquaintances of acquaintances through our union, and they've brought it up to us. So we're just trying to have cover all our bases, make sure precautions are kept. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, if you want to tail me, that's great. If not, you guys do what you do best. I don't want to get involved and try and micromanage what you do. So yeah, whatever you want. But I do have to go.
I look at the others and
But
say,
a quick question: would it be other warners that we have to be on the lookout for, or could these be other groups? Because what is the mining union primarily comprised of? Is it just the dwarves?
No. The mining union is everybody who works in these Judd goldfields. Everybody's covered under us. So all races, we don't discriminate. And looking around, by the way, you can tell that most of the miners are Vanir, with a smattering of a few other races, some dwarves, some humans. You even see like the occasional Celeste and Daithya as well. It's a mix.
Look at the others and say, what if we maim every non-miner around? It's like, not like kill them, but like an arm or a leg is fine, right?
Look, I'm just gonna go at this point, and you see Buddy just be like, I don't like. Just he looks confused and like worried that he might have made a bad decision, and he just starts to walk away. You see him kind of move through the crowd, and then kind of lose him as he goes off to talk to whomever he needs to.
I wanted to ask him what he wanted us to do when people got rough. No, I'm like saying that to Ajay.
Okay.
And could I have like taken the morning, 2 hours in the morning to sort of inscribe Ajay's armor and also make 3 lodestones?
I'd say yeah. You can you could have taken the lodestones for sure.
Very, very early up in the morning and like done the lodestone and then gone and met Ajay to inscribe his armor to match elemental resistance.
Okay. What are you giving him?
I would like to give him radiant damage resistance.
Oh, you're buffing his weapon.
Yeah, buffing his weapon.
Okay.
Not his weapon, sorry, his armor.
Oh, his armor. So he gets 1 elemental resistance.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Which element would you like him to have resistance to?
Can you like run through them really quickly? I'm very sorry.
Okay, so you have fire, water, earth, charm, hex, eldritch, kinetic.
Charm.
Charm. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Abhishek, you can write that down. You have charm resistance 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
So I asked Ajay, if things get bad, we should take away an arm.
Yes.
How?
I mean,
do we
how
ask
I
them for
usually
it?
go? Maybe. How I do it is usually I take my axe and chop it off, and then if they're whining about a little, just cut their head off. But you do you. It's a creative outlet for you. You know how you make those stones?
Yeah.
This is me, but with bodies.
If I go up to them and I'm like, hey, no, Mr. Badman, give me your arm. Do you think that would work?
You can always try.
Yeah.
Just be
Despite
near me
Ajay's
when you do
capacity
that.
for it, despite Ajay's capacity for curious form of inciting cooperation, I believe he would still need the axe if he were to get an arm. But that is still not an ideal set of circumstances, is it? Perhaps we should not go all the way towards violence in the first move, Ajay.
Yes, I know. I see what you're doing. Not go to violence, but make them fight each other. Spread a rumor.
Oh, I can.
That
I'm very
is
good at
an
that.
interesting movement. That is an interesting movement that we could try and attempt.
Oh, that is very
Yeah.
nice. Even I like that idea. Can we like?
But that would entail us getting to know a little more about the situation. We cannot simply just go in and just try and attempt something, is it not?
Actually,
That man can shit his pants. And I'm going to point to like one person and like shout that out and like just look for the reaction.
Wait, what did you
What
say?
did you shout out?
I'm like, that man has shit his pants and I'm just going to point to like a random banner.
Oh no. Yeah.
Ajay is already holding his nose, just selling it.
See,
Oh God, I
he-
can smell it here.
Everybody in a radius around you just like immediately looks to where you're pointing and looks to this Vanir. And there's this like Vanir who just also looks around and is like kind of trying to see who you're pointing at, and then realizes you're pointing at them, and you're just like, no, I'm fine. And then he turns around to kind of just show that his pants are like clean.
What if they fell straight through? Take them off. We need to see
Oh
if
my god!
there's traces of shit.
It's just like, no. And he starts backing up into the crowd, just repeating, no. Like he's just completely baffled with like what he should say.
Is he one of those bothered people we have to keep away from the miners? Because he looks very bothered right now.
He
Nah,
definitely
I
looks
think he's
bothered.
one of them. He's one of the miners, I'd say.
Yeah, he is.
I love
Can
the
can I just try and like do a clap, which is just like a really loud just clap of force as my eyes glow green and like above the two foreplates of my head, like an arcane kind of sigil starts glowing as divine geometry starts moving as I just kind of look at everybody. Please remain calm. This is not an emergency. We are merely trying to ascertain where everyone is lying in respect to how we wish the evening to proceed. Please remain where you are while we consult with you in these regards.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
If you move a single step, we'll kill you all.
And I guess I don't help that because I just look around. It's like,
Yeah. And then you have Ajay going, "We'll kill you all."
So
Yeah,
that is not what we
he's
mean.
not-
That
he's
is
not
that is
looking
not what we
intimidating.
mean.
He's having fun.
What we mean.
So
Kshema,
while all this is happening in a very traditional auntie-like fashion, going to a place where they've never been before, while they're discussing this, could I have been like doing an auntie investigation, which is like going around and touching things that are not meant to be touched and going like, okay, and all that, and making all these expressions while eavesdropping on conversations that are happening around the break room.
That is perfect. We'll say that like you start doing this around about the time when, first of all, everybody's moving a little bit away from you guys after Kaka and Ajay have kind of warned people and kind of weirded them out. But off in the distance of this large space, you see that there's a little bit more commotion, and a fanfare plays out on like some sort of trumpet, and you see this Vaanar step onto the little platform. A bunch of dignitaries in like very fancy clothes take their seats behind him, and this is also another Vaanar, very much larger looking, kind of like they've eaten very healthy for a very long time. They've got almost reddish orange skin and sort of a droopy face, and they begins to give out a speech. You hear few words from this distance. You're quite off into the back. Madam Muggermuch, you start kind of just moving through the crowd, occasionally just touching a few things, checking and making faces. I want you to make 2 rolls for me, okay? The first roll I want you to make is a read body language and add your wit to this.
Oh, lovely. I have proficiency in that. Okay. I'm skilled in that. Awesome. So that, and a wit, you said?
Yes, wit.
Okay. So that's wit. Gradual. One sec.
No worries.
So that is an 18 on the D20. Just need to roll
Nice.
2 6s. Oh, lovely. That's an 8 on the 2 D6. So 8 plus 1, 9. So 18 plus 9, which is 27.
Fantastic. Okay. The second roll I want is the eavesdrop one.
Oh,
For this, I want you to add your persona, and actually no, just persona should be good.
persona. Okay. So it's a 1d6 plus 2.
As this is going on, Ajay is going to look around to see if he recognizes any of these people.
Okay. I'd like you to make a memory roll for me, please.
Good. That's my best stat with a -1.
All right, just a second, Abhishek. What was your second roll total?
17.
17 on eavesdrop. Okay, so you start moving through the crowd a bit, and you start to pick up on a bunch of stuff. There's a certain skill you pick up, especially when you're dealing with students, about just how to tell through the way they're standing, their expression, just the little micro things that they do, what's going on, and get a read of what their intentions are. For the most part, there's a lot of people who seem to be just kind of straining to listen from like this far back. Not everyone can make out this person's voice. But you also pick out some oddities, I'd say. You notice one human, in fact. He's got this black undershirt, no sleeves, got this shirt that's kind of tied around his waist, just he's got this very angry look, just this perpetual anger sort of face. Just kind of staring at daggers at the subsector head. You a little bit off to the further down from them, you see Celeste, who's kind of wearing these patiala pants with like a floral print and this olive green top as well. And you can't see the front of this woman, but you see her from behind, and you can make out from just the skin tone that yes, this is a Celeste. And there's also just something about their stance that looks a lot more tense as compared to the others. And while you're you've noticed these two, and you're like, huh, that is odd, and you're trying to move closer to them, you hear, and you're not sure about this, but you think you hear just the barest whisper of someone going, "Madam Magarmach?"
Oh no. Oh no. I start to quickly pat my scaly face like I'm wiping back hair that I don't have, and I'm just adjusting my sari, and I immediately put on school teacher mode, yes, speaking.
You look back, and there's just a few Vana who are standing there, and they kind of look a little surprised that you're suddenly speaking to them. You can tell immediately that they're not the ones who talk to you. So whatever voice you heard, it's not these people immediately behind you. And you're looking around, and everyone's just kind of either not paying attention to you, or the two people that you immediately looked at, and they're like, "Kya hua?"
For a sec, I just it's like I suddenly remembered somebody else, and I look up and I'm like, Sir? Sir, is that you, sir?
You hear nothing. Ajay, what was your roll for memory?
I got a natural 20, but -1, so 19.
Okay. We'll say that with that roll, you start looking around at the faces down here. You don't recognize anyone particularly. It's most of your acquaintances don't even live close to the Judd Goldfields. But
I was hoping maybe one of the guards was, but
the guards are too far. All the guards are near the podium, and you guys are well behind. If you want to start making your way forward, you can. That's entirely up to you. Mugu and Kaka, what are you guys doing?
Mugu, please.
Um,
I have a thing to do, but please do.
it's standing there playing Vajram and just looking around, trying to basically keep an eye out for the rabble rousers, but she's just going to actually be playing around with Vajram.
Okay. In that case, can you just make a general roll and add abstraction?
Abstract.
Yeah.
What you're playing is. Yeah, and yes, I will move ahead.
Okay.
Just see if I recognize.
Hello?
Yeah. What's your total?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. You are just playing around. You're not really fully paying attention to people around you. But you suddenly get the sense, just out of the blue, that you're pretty sure that there's a few elements that were in front of you that are making a beeline forward.
Can Once I spot that, can I sort of take a closer look and see if like they're reaching for something or if they're like pushing through people or what exactly they're going for?
They are like, they're not reaching for anything, but you see them like very slowly, but with determination, just kind of pushing past or walking past people, finding the little gaps and making their way little by little forward.
How many are there?
You can spot maybe 2, maybe 3.
Sort of like start hitting Ajay's shoulder, like, hey, 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 and like just like start pointing there, those two people. And I'm like, look, they're doing something. Look at them. They're doing something.
We're gonna go on killing people.
Okay, so
I'm already like moving ahead and say.
okay, so you start moving in that general direction. Kaka, what are you doing?
What is the general state of magic in Vaanarprastha, or like in this world in that point? Like, is it used in industry? Is it used in situations like this?
It's used in certain cases for industry. Magic is something that generally people wield, and people have managed to harness magic in small bursts, right? But not for like sustained activity. The best that people have managed, in fact, is less to do with arcane energies and more with the primal energies, and that too is fairly rare. So even in this cave, a lot of the light sources, there's one big like central crystal that's kind of off-white, that's providing a fair amount of light. But around the edges of this area are lanterns, oil run, and those are kind of providing light outside that central area.
I suppose before I would have heard Mugu get Ajay's attention. I would have been, I suppose, while my eyes were still flared and that the divine geometry circle was going, I'd have looked around to see if because I'm attuned to Arcana, I'm just looking to see if anything resonates with any energy in my general vision or vicinity as I take a look around.
Interesting. I would like you to make, what would this be? Okay, it'll. I want you to use finesse on this because you're doing something very quickly, and add finesse. You have detect arcana or something of that sort, right?
Yeah, I have Arcana attuned, skilled.
Yes, so Arcana attuned, add that as well.
Okay. Right now, I unfortunately have not purchased a dice set from Kumi's Curiosity, so I'm going to be using this. But like, I shall correct that oversight in time. But so that is a D20 plus 2d6, is
yes.
it?
And your finesse stat.
And my finesse stat. Okay, that's a 15 plus a 6 plus a 15 plus
dice.
12. 15 plus 12 plus 1. I mean,
oh my
to be
God.
fair, like they're not weighted, but they are like metal. They're actual metal dice. Like, yeah,
Wow.
so that is my. I only have one dice set, but it's metal.
This is just the first session luck that we have.
Yeah,
I swear, beginner's luck.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
next session
15 plus 13. 15 plus 13. 28.
That is nuts. Oh, we crossed the 27 threshold. Otherwise, it was 27 plus.
You have this inkling, so you close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just kind of attune to the arcana around you. And for the most part, there's like a bit of arcana coming from the chandelier with the large crystal at its centerpiece. And that's mostly benign, mostly primal energies, not even like refined arcana. But around you, you get slight pings from Madame Muggermuff, and you can see her off in the distance, kind of looking away from where the speech is, and at two people behind her. And for some reason, in front of you and off to the left, somewhere to the side of the podium, you get just the barest hints of some hex magic.
Ooh, okay.
I raise an eyebrow and kind of, I guess, like I see that people are kind of occupied, right? Like Madam Magarmach is, or actually, I'm just going to out of game. Is it okay if I call you M Cube?
M Cube. You can call me Madam. But M Cube works as well.
Unless you want,
like internal dialogue might be different.
But
Okay, cool.
it makes sense
Madam,
for Yantar, like for like Kaka to call me M Square or like M Cube actually. Sorry.
That's what I was thinking. But like, what does she seem to be doing? Because I caught her looking around.
Yeah, you caught her looking back and kind of looking intensely at two people behind her, and then kind of looking up and just whispering something.
Yes.
You see Ajay and Mugu also kind of starting to move through the crowd and move forward.
Is it in the same direction of the hex magic?
Generally forward, not leaning to the left, just moving forward in general.
Okay, I'll just I'll just try and wave to catch Madam Magarmach's attention.
So Madam Magarmach is standing like a bludgeon word diva. Okay, I just wanted to say that. And she's looking up and her hands are here. And so suddenly she feels like she heard you and she's just like rushing to you. Okay, and she's like, oh, Kaka. So, is there anything odd you're feeling here right now? Because I feel like someone's watching me.
I don't know if anybody is watching, but from my observation of the immediate vicinity, I did detect a trace of hex magic coming from the east in that direction. And I point to where I sensed it.
People are doing hex and all here inside.
It is strange because that is not, given the transient and ephemeral nature of magic, sustained magic is usually connected to hexes and curses. And given that you are a teacher, I assumed you would be the correct one to ask the word.
It's such a silly school of magic though. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't really do much. Like, how is it so productive in mining?
I prefer moving with force and grace.
Yeah, you're one of those kinetic kids. I understand. They were with your kinetic energy and like time and all that. I get that, but but actually I wanted to tell you, yes, Kaka sir, can you see those two over there? That woman, that Celeste over there, and that other guy over there. I don't know why, but some
blazing eyes and mandala.
Something is sus about them. I can't understand what it is, but they're acting full off.
Yeah, can I try and look at them and just try and, with my empathy, just kind of read their body language and try and figure out a little bit of what is happening from these people?
In just a moment. I'm going to switch quickly to Ajay and Mugu, who are now walking forward through the crowd. You guys are moving through the crowd, and the two that you were following both seem to be Vana, and they're, let's say, about 10 meters ahead of you. And at this point, you guys have all kind of gotten halfway through the crowd to where the podium is, and now you guys can hear a bit more of the speech, and it's this very blubbery sort of voice, just kind of talking about various logistics and stats for the mines, that we have shipped so many things and we have done this, and so many crates have gone to this city and this many crates have gone there, and the prefect of Bishthun has said such and such to us.
Ajay
And
is
it
thinking
just
to himself, maybe
yeah
if I kill him, he'll shut up.
yeah.
Axe to his head.
Oh wait, Shweta, your voice broke up there.
It's
Oh no.
still.
Very slow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
I think it's the same problem that when do you guys want to take like a break for 5 minutes?
yeah, we could do that.
That'd be nice. That'd
Yeah.
be nice, actually. Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
So okay.
Technical break.
Yes, technical difficulties, but we will be back in 5 minutes. Tata. How do I do this? and we're back. And okay, after this short break, what were we doing? Bludgeon Master.
So we were in a large cavern. There was a speech being given by a dignitary who was the subsector head from the Unity for the Judd Goldfields. You guys have been told that there would be some potential radical elements that might try and disrupt this event, mostly against the Unity themselves, but the Union was afraid that their miners, their members, would essentially be caught in the crossfire and just wanted someone around to ensure that if anything kicked off, someone would be there to serve their interests and not just that of the Unity. So, you guys have been here. You've noticed some odd behavior from a few elements. Ajay and Mugu have followed two of these Vanar through the crowd and have made their way halfway to the podium. Madam Magarmach and Kaka are further in the back. You guys have noticed some odd things as well. Madam Magarmach, you noticed there were two people that seemed to have a certain odd tension to them. But before you could investigate further, you heard a voice whisper your name in sort of a tone of incredulity. And that you couldn't find the source of it, though. And so you came back to Kaka, who was just sensing for magic, and found an odd source of hex magic off to the side of the cavern. And that's where we left off. Mugu was just about to tell us what she was doing as she's moving through the crowd.
Yeah, so basically Mugu is walking with Ajay towards the two Vanar that she saw. And she wants to get close enough to hear what they're saying, if they're saying anything. Mm-hmm. And like, she's almost dragging Ajay along. Like, I know that he's bored because of the speech. So she's just like, no, don't listen. Just listen to them. And like, that's what she's trying to do.
Okay.
At this point, when she like points to these Vanars, Ajay like fully focused. He like pushes Mugu to side a little and starts talking as if he's going on a hunt and these are prey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys start inching closer, and you're about a few bodies behind them when all of a sudden these two in front of you suddenly kind of break off. They kind of move to the sides, and just as you're like trying to get a sense of like, okay, what is happening here, this voice off in the distance starts screaming. You're at a distance, you can't make out, but it's something along the lines of down with the Unity, these mines are a sham. And you see like this one tomato go flying over and fall short of the podium and hit some random miner on the back of the head. And all of a sudden, there's like a little bit of commotion as everyone's looking around trying to find the source. Another shout kicks off from another side where someone else is shouting, down with the Unity! These mines are a sham as well. The Unity shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be in Vaanarprastha. And everybody is now like just confused. And the two people you were looking at, they start to move much quicker towards the front.
I'm gonna rush at one.
Yeah,
and
same.
Tell Mugu to. I have something called. I have a racial feat called hoofs.
Yes.
Which gives me 4 times movement.
When you're running, yes. Yeah.
Yes, I'm running at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you start sprinting, pushing people aside. I would like you to make a strength roll. You can add your athletics to this.
Nice.
Yeah. Just to make sure that nobody like body blocks you too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see this happen as I look to whoever? Are these the same two that Madam Magarmach?
No, she noticed 2 other people off on the side. One was a Celeste and one was a human. These 2 are Vana.
14 plus 5 plus 6.
So then,
Okay.
Would I have noticed all
25.
of this happening? No.
No,
By now.
not yet. I think you would have heard the first shout. Look to where the shout came from, and it came from the Celeste that Madame Magarmach had noticed, And then the second shout, you can't make out who was yelling, but you do notice that little tomato go flying overhead. With the 25, yeah, you body people out of the way. You found your target, you found your prey, and you are rushing at them. You get up to this Vanar and like just tackle them to the ground. Mughal, you're running after Ajay in the wake that he's leaving
No,
behind.
the other one.
Oh,
Like
you're
they
going-
split.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. In that case, you try rushing after the other, and you're trying to make your way through the crowd. There's more of a commotion now as people are like, trying to figure out what's happening. There's some yelling. Miners are kind of moving in a general direction towards the mines. A lot of the other civilians that don't actually work here but are just there to see the event, they're moving towards the exit. And I'd like you to make a strength check as well.
So that's my D20 plus my strength, right?
Yes.
Unless you have like a competency or skill.
It's a 10.
It's a 10 total?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our luck is over.
You're trying to push to
I'm like,
bodies.
Mr. Vanar, sir. Mr. Quickly Walking Vanar, sir.
In the push of bodies, you're kind of being led aside, and you're almost losing a visual of this Vanar that's ahead of you. In the back, Kaka and Madam Muggermuch, what are you guys doing?
I turn to Madam and I say, the one that you pointed to was the one that yelled it out. I believe that we should try and immediately dismiss that hex magic that I detected earlier. Something might be going in a negative direction. Let us move in that way.
Okay. And I follow him in this very teacher going to a classroom while hearing some noise, and the way that you just stand outside the classroom and just look in without saying anything until they notice you sort of way. I just go stand and look at everybody. What are you doing? What is this? You think we're coming here to have fun or to mine? But what is actually happening?
Confidence.
How synonymous of Indian education, right?
Yeah. A few people stop to turn at you, and you've kind of got their attention, albeit momentarily, as they're just still walking, but kind of looking at you, being like, "Why is she telling us off?" In the distance, from that Celeste with the Patiala pants you had noticed earlier, you hear the slogan, "Wake up! You're being brainwashed! The Unity is out to get you!" And that sort of kind of slogan chanting from them. Kaka, you're moving further towards that hex magic, right? Okay, so you start moving through the crowd as best as you can. Being a Yantralog, I'll say that
I'm doing a very Tai Chi kind of it's the river flow kind of situation.
Okay.
Just going.
You are doing sort of you're trying to do that. You are a mechanical being. So while you think you're being graceful, you're just bumping into people, but you don't feel it, but they do. And you, as far as you're concerned, you are like a boulder moving through a river. Nothing phases you. You make your way through the crowd and you're heading forward, and you think you can see in the distance a few people standing to the side. You see they've all got the miner's uniform, but they've also got it's not as dirty as everyone else's. It doesn't have the scuffs and the dirt on it. It looks a bit neater kept. A few of them even have small little badges on their fronts, and amongst them you see Money, and he's talking to two of these other Vanar, and they're pointing at all the various people. And Money sees you, and it's waves frantically. But as soon as he is, there's a whole rush of miners that just obscure them and start heading towards one of the mines nearby. More of the slogan chanting goes on, And Ajay, we'll skip to you.
Mhm.
You have
Yeah.
tackled one of these Vaanar, and this Vaanar is now like struggling to get free. You know, they're like trying to hit you from with their elbows. They're trying to push off the ground, but you have them pinned down. What would you like to do?
I like you can't see it from far, but Ajay's like his death physiology up close is very terrifying. His eyes are like blood red. He just gives this guy a creepy smile, looks at him,
Uh-huh.
and he goes,
Stop, before I kill you. You know, it would please me, but I was told not to unnecessarily kill. There's always exceptions on there.
Nice.
Amazing!
Right,
Whoa!
You say that to this Vaanar, who immediately is just like stops. You know, they can't really see you because their like face is kind of half in the dirt. But that you just like they're like, look, we're just here to stop the unity. That's all we want to do. Just leave me alone. We're not even gonna hurt anybody. We're just gonna throw like rotten fruit at this guy. Okay, just leave me alone. As he's saying that though, because there's this commotion that's building, there's more people that are trying to walk past you guys. There's a bit of a rush, so you feel this occasional push as like someone brushes up against you. And also the number of people talking amongst themselves is starting to increase. So you hear what he's saying, but it's getting harder and harder to understand.
okay, I'm gonna slightly relieve the pressure, and in the voice that I usually speak, say, so you're gonna tell me who your ringleader is here, and then you can go your merry way with slight injuries, but incidental, that's it.
He's like, my ringleader, we don't have a leader. We're here because we all care. We're united in this. We don't do leaders. This is an anarchic system.
Yes. So what you are saying to me is that I should make an example of you on stage, and that will stop everybody.
What? No. And
And
starts
I,
struggling.
very, very slowly start dragging him, giving him
Okay.
enough time to tell me if he knows anything.
Okay, so you stand up, and you just kind of start dragging him bit by bit towards the thing. He's getting like battered by people who are walking past and don't necessarily see him half on the ground. Meanwhile, Mugu, you are now almost halfway out this room, just being pulled with this crush of bodies as they're like trying to escape. Kaka, you are trying to get closer to money, but all these people have suddenly gone in the way. And Madame Magarmach, you're in the back trying to explain to people that they're being unreasonable, and they're still being unreasonable and not quite listening. And all of this is happening when an explosion occurs.
Oh no!
It's loud, it's booming. Off in the distance, this rush of clouds just enters the cavern. The whole cavern shakes, and all the lights suddenly just go out. And you're all rocked into silence. You all fall down. It is massive. And most of you are unconscious for just a bit. And then one by one, you wake up. The people around you wake up. And now it's even more chaotic. There's panic. Earlier, people were just trying to get away and didn't want to be part of whatever scene. Now there's full-fledged panic.
Everybody was down?
Everybody
Even on
was
the
just
stage?
knocked down. Yes, because there was this blast that came in from like the main entrance area, and it just kind of this shockwave of force just came into the cavern and pushed everyone down. Plus the smoke and a little bit of rock, the shaking kind of knocked loose some debris from the top, which fell down on everyone. It is pandemonium. You all wake up to screaming, to darkness. Can anybody see in the dark here?
I think I can.
You can? Do you have a racial adaptation that lets you?
Yes, I need to just check. Give me 1 sec.
Sure.
I don't have, but I'll try to make sure the Varner that I had in my grasp is still in my grasp.
Unfortunately, he's not.
Blindly, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you like your hands are empty. You look around. There's a few other bodies nearby, but it doesn't. It could or couldn't be this guy. You can't quite tell.
Okay. It's primary.
I
Is
don't.
the sound
think so.
is
My bad. I don't think I have dark vision.
You don't? Okay. Muku, you wake up and Vajram is like just kind of hiding in the crook of your neck, right? And is kind of nuzzling you softly, trying to help you wake up faster.
is the sound that the explosion? It came from the direction of the mine.
From the main entrance to this cavern. So
Right.
basically, you have a main entrance to the cavern, and then the cavern splits off into all the mines that are where everyone goes to actually mine. The main entrance is where this explosion seems to have come from.
If
Do
I
I
can,
still sense? Sorry to quick thing. Do I still sense the hex energy?
I would like you to make another roll for that, because you're just like
Okay.
regain consciousness.
Okay.
It's dark. There's a lot happening. You can add
So this
a
is
memory. to
another.
this.
I
Yeah.
can add a memory. Okay. So that is. Oh shit! That's an 8, and a 4, and a 3. So that's
17.
15. No, that's 17. Is that
17.
17?
You said
And
8?
17 plus
15,
1.
15.
It was
15.
15.
Yeah, 15 plus 1. Yeah, 15 plus
16.
1, 16.
16. Okay. You can make out the hex energy, but now it's significantly stronger. And as you're like trying to pay attention to this, you feel that hex energy move from to that general location where you saw it to another spot, and to another spot. But when it duplicates, there's another energy source left behind, and you're sensing like multiple hex energy sources starting to come alive around you, all around the cavern.
I at that point I think I should yell out, there are multiple sources of hex magic appearing all around us in the vicinity. Please keep yourselves on guard.
All right.
And I get up.
Unfortunately, that causes a lot more screaming around you. And just as you kind of say that, you look up, and all of you see this in the darkness. First, it's just a single line, and then it resolves into a pattern, and then it grows into this jagged, sharp mandala shape. Each one starting here, another starting, and like 4 or 5 of these open up or are created along the ceilings of this cavern. And then they begin to spin slowly and faster, and then suddenly, almost as if it's tearing apart a fabric, the center moves apart, and you can see kind of like reality fold on the sides, and something extremely fiery on the other sides. Fire gushes out from each, illuminating the space and all the bodies, people just sitting up, staring dumbfounded up into this. At the same time, that main chandelier slowly sparks back into life, providing some amount of illumination to the center. You see the Unity head on the platform, and some of the bodyguards around him just murder. They're
Oh my
all
God.
just lying in pools of blood. And from these mandals that have now ripped open, you see something emerge. Something falls to the ground. Another. And they're screaming. There's so much screaming. Everybody begins to run, trying to get away from these shapes. You guys are being...
these?
Mhm.
Can any of us like try to discern what these are?
Yeah.
In
any-
any case, like there's a lot of rubble right around me.
Yes. Yes, there is.
In any case, I'm gonna pick up a big rock to throw. Either
Okay.
way.
Yeah, we'll say that you get a rock and you chuck it at the
Like
nearest...
a boulder type. Shit.
Okay. as big of a rock as you can carry. You take it and you just throw it at the nearest body that has just crashed to the ground. It's just this kind of misshapen lump right now, but it's slowly picking itself up and resolving into some sort of quadruped shape. The rock hits it, and you hear like a little yip of pain, as you know clearly it's hurt by the rock. But then, as the light has now started up again, you see this massive shape. It is a quadruped creature, all of them. It's got a massive head with a large jaw in fiery reds and oranges. The eyes kind of surrounded by yellow. Its mouth are like these massive teeth, and a large tongue just extends outwards from it. And it looks at you, and it howls. It runs at you. I need you to make a finesse roll to get to to just dodge this.
Ooh.
Can I throw a lodestone there where they are gathered? Can I throw one of my lodestones there?
They're in different spots. They're not all in one space. So basically, there were all these reality rips in the ceiling, all at equidistant intervals. So they kind of fell all around the cavern.
Can I then throw it where Ajay is? If
Yes,
not
you can.
at one of them. Yeah, I'll just throw one where Ajay is, or at least try to reach that with my lodestone.
Okay. And
So it's
which
a 5 plus. Sorry?
Which prayer does this lodestone have?
I basically, it needs to give him like any sort of health benefit, basically, like a HP benefit if he loses anything like that.
Okay.
So in terms of prayer, I think I will say, can it be the prayer to the harvest?
Sure. Yeah.
No intimidate or anything.
How far is Ajay from me and Madam Magamach and I?
So if this were a cavern, Madame Muggermuch is currently at the back. You are closer to where the mine shafts kind of are, going further in, because you were headed towards the left. Ajay is not too far from you, Kaka, and Mugu is off further towards the entry side of the cavern, and is now trying to make her way back.
I can't believe my rolls. That's a dirty 20 with a plus.
Can I
All
depending on how this goes, can I hold to cast a dampening field on him, like if he's within a line distance? Because I believe.
What is your range?
Like on a range, it's 5.
5. Do you have snipe by any chance? Otherwise, he's very.
No.
He wouldn't be within 5 tiles of you at this point. No.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't have snipe.
Okay. That's all right. In that case, you may not be able to reach him with a spell. But with that roll, you manage to see like one of them like skid and turn back and look at you, and you see it contemplating whether to like come back or not. But some of the other creatures have begun to howl in the distance as well, and you see it kind of then just turn back and head down one of the mine shafts.
Well,
Can
at least
I,
I have one near me. So
Can I you said they're going into the cavern as well, right? Like each of them is going into a different entrance?
They're all like kind of
Into the different mine shaft.
Yeah, into the different mine shafts, and just kind of disappearing down that way.
Are any of them passing by me to go
No.
to the entrance near me?
No, they
Then-
would have passed you by already and at a distance.
I'd like to just go to the entrance of one of these places, not like follow them, but
Mhm.
when I see each of them going into the mine shafts and people coming out, I'd like to carefully just follow up to the entrance and try to see, can I see what they're doing inside?
Okay, yeah. You make your way through the crowd, and we'll say that at this point you guys are all converging at a single point closer to Mugu. Okay. Mugu, you look down one of the mine shafts and you see like even though people are running out, some of the lanterns off in the distance are still on, and in their meager light, you see like one of these large dog-like creatures kind of rush up to a mine cart, push it over, and you see like these stones kind of fall over. But you're knowing where you are and what this place is, you're pretty sure that is ore, gold ore, and you see this beast just bite all the ore and just like start devouring it.
So,
is it getting bigger?
just before we converge there, when I wake up, could I just make a quick assessment of how many people are injured, how many people are around us, and whether there's an escape outside? Since so I'm going to go into the whole school teacher fire this again, what's it called? Oh god, fire drill out, okay, of things where I start assigning leaders and try to get them to help people to take them to a safe spot.
Okay. I'd like you to just make a standard memory and guile roll.
Got it.
So add both those stats and roll the d20.
Just one
Could I-
question.
Yes.
Could I aid Madam Magarmach in doing that somehow?
You'll have to tell me how you're doing that, but just a second. Abhishek, what was that?
You said whatever this thing is, one of them tried to lunge at me on the stage.
Yes.
Is it still nearby?
Oh,
Or does it
no,
run
no,
off?
it ran off. It basically lunged at you. Because it didn't get you, it just kept heading towards one of the mine shafts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, fine. Never mind.
So
Okay.
I wanted to know if I could also add intimidation to my role in the way that I'm shouting at them to gather.
Oh, like, so you're basically trying to almost bully people into listening. in
Yeah,
this-
so it's a very bully-like manner, like, hey, what are you doing? Stop, like, just crying in that corner. Go, move, that sort of way, okay?
If
Actually,
she's doing that, if she's intimidating, I mean, I'm near her.
Uh, I'll
I have good intimidation.
I
You
have good
do,
intimidation too. That's right.
but your version of intimidation is very different from what she's attempting to
yeah.
achieve here. Kaka, what did you want to do to assist here?
I'd actually kind of want to kind of take a quick peek towards the mine entrance to
Mhm.
see if that is clear and open. Because we
Um,
heard an explosion coming from there, right?
Oh, that's on the other side. That's the entry side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it seems like
Can I
people are
at
kind of
least
moving in
from?
that
I'm not
direction.
so
Uh-huh.
in that direction. Okay.
Yeah.
But can I try and ascertain from a distance whether there's any actual damage to, like, the actual entrance to the mine itself?
You'll have to go further down that route to see what the case is.
I just turn to Madam and just go, Madam, perhaps they are indeed trying to escape the premises.
Hey, just go
But,
find one exit, yeah.
perhaps you
Stop it. You're taking too much time. I
I
understand.
run.
Little faster,
I run.
little faster. Go,
I
go, go,
run.
go.
Okay.
I run.
What is the total of your roll?
16.
16. You start calling out, and yes, there's quite a few injured people, and you start kind of giving orders. And in a time of chaos, someone who's kind of taking up a leadership role, generally people will listen because it's easier sometimes. And so you start calling out orders. Groups are forming. People are kind of helping, moving injured off to sides. Tables are being cleared so the more grievously injured can be placed there. You hear off in the distance saying, oh no, Haridasan Saab has been killed. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to the mines? There's like a small congregation around the bodies at the podium, and you notice that it was basically the main speaker, the subsector head, and the bodyguards that have been killed. But the other dignitaries who were sitting, they're shaken, but they're not dead.
What about money?
Money, you don't see money anywhere. You're heading the other direction, but you are moving to where a lot of the crowd seem to have gone, and it's a short little distance. You go through a quick mine, and you come out into where that dwarven quarters is, and this whole place is a wreck. Some of the little shops that were there, they were made of wood. They weren't really substantial, but they've kind of collapsed. There's been significant damage. There's a crowd of people here, and you see the entrance that you guys have come from is now caved in, and you see a lot of the dwarves here have like backup lanterns that they've lit, and they're kind of trying to assess the damage. You see T. Howard Raju is up front with Chotu on his shoulder, and they're just kind of like assessing it. You hear some murmuring. And yes, Abhishek.
Mogu and Ajay are near this beast, right?
No,
We are
the
looking
beast-
at this thing that is eating the gold.
It's
Oh.
further down the mine shaft. You're not near it. You'd have to kind of sprint a little to catch up to it, and it's devouring this ore. And once it's finished, it just starts. You hear like this loud sniffing sound, and then it just slowly wends its way further into the mine shaft.
I look at Mogu and say, do we need to catch that thing? Do you think we
It's
should
just,
have some sort of, I don't know.
I don't want
maybe-
you anywhere near it. It's hungry and you just want to kill things.
Not this time.
Oh wait, I just remembered.
wanna
Some of
kill
you
it.
wanted to see if any of you recognized this creature, right?
Mhm.
I'd like everybody to make a memory roll. Does anybody have any type of history in
I
there?
have great recall.
I'll allow
Just
that.
local gossip.
Okay.
I mean,
Local gossip will
I'm a
work.
smith. I'm a smith, right? So would I have heard any kind of lore as to kind of creatures that eat ore?
I'll allow you to add Tinkerer, and I'll allow
Okay.
Kshema to add Great Recall.
This is a memory, is it?
Yes.
17.
Local gossip seems
Oh
bit
my
far-fetched
God.
currently.
You will
What is
not
it?
believe the stages. I rolled a d20 and two d6s, sixes on both sixes.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow.
So
All
like,
right.
if I
That's
remember
funny.
this, it has really traumatized me sometime in my life. If I really remember this.
What role was
Okay.
memory?
Yeah.
Or
It's a total of 18 for me.
Memory.
memory?
18,
Oh, okay.
17. Yeah.
It's a. I don't know Bludgeon as a system, but what would you say a nat 1 would do with a -1 in memory?
Oh my god. It's the
You are-
opposites.
You've never heard of this. You are just like, yeah, kuch malum nahi hai, but I want to kill it. And I will for what it is, I murder it.
If
Because it is definitely
I
a monster
think
of some
I
kind.
think a zero would more be of Ajay thinking I don't want to kill it, I want to tame it now. I wanted this as a pet.
If you think that's better for your character, go for it. I'm totally down.
I think so.
Okay, that's done. You think you
I'll-
now need
yeah.
to tame this mystical, fantastic beast.
Yeah, I look at Mugu and say, now this time it's for, let's say, research, and I'll slowly start stalking it, asking Mugu to follow me.
Okay.
Just assuming she will.
Okay. And Madam Mugramach, what was your full total?
That would be 32.
Wow.
That is
Okay.
crazy. Yeah, 32. That's why I was like, I'm a little scared also. Like, why would I remember this thing so well?
Okay. So
Mother
first
of Chad.
I will give first Kaka and Mugu the information they have with their 17 and 18 rolls. You guys know that, you're piecing together information. First of all, these portals that open and the hex magic, these are clearly from Narak, right? It's come from some part of hell. These are maybe some kind of Rakshas that you're not 100% sure what they are. Kaka, you would at least guess that, okay, you've heard stories of Rakshas that are really attracted to riches, and maybe this could be something like that it either is attracted to riches or maybe or something along those lines. Madam Mugramach, you, in your studies, while teaching your class about magical beings and whatnot, and even in the school that you were a part of, you do remember at one point the principal had captured a creature once and was just very interested in it, and kind of going on this mental spiel of what it was, and you were trying to win brownie points with your principal, and so you were like, yeah, and trying to sound interested and involved. Not that he cared; he was kind of in his own world, didn't really even notice you were there most of the time. But you do remember that conversation and that moment. This is a Rakshas, and it is attracted to gold. It will eat or gold directly. It will go into its stomach, and in its stomach, its internal physiology will basically remove all the excesses, and then basically it will store all that pure gold in it. And the more gold it stores, the stronger it becomes, because that is what then feeds its power.
Got it. Do I remember if it's a sort of sentient creature or it's more driven by a desire to eat gold, or can they be trained? That sort of way.
They cannot be trained. They can, in some cases, be dominated, but you do know that generally only happens with another more powerful Rakshas doing that to them. These are also pack animals, so they move in groups and kind of move around in 2s, 3s, 4s, and it's like almost a singular logic is find riches and eat it.
Okay, and this is more kind of like a tiger escaping from the zoo than like an organized attack, right? Is what I'd assume, that this is kind of like wolves attacking sheep. It's just more of a natural sort of thing. Got it.
Yeah, but you would also be curious as to who dropped them here, because it's not like they just turned up. There were 6 different portals that opened up and let them through here. It's not like, a random portal and these things just fell through.
And last one, would I know if they have any vulnerabilities?
They don't have any elemental vulnerabilities.
Okay. I after making sure that all the people are somewhat safe, or that they're at least organizing themselves to get safe a little, I'm going to come running back to the others. Particularly like Kaka, because he was the one I was closest to earlier. So I go and I see Ajay is fighting off one of those Rakshasas in the front, right? Not anymore.
He's stalking it. He's stalking
it. Not yet. He's starting to move. Yeah, you see him starting to move into one of the mine shafts after one of these creatures.
Got it.
Mugu and Vajram are right behind him. Taka is very close to you.
Got
At
it.
this point, you guys can.
Didn't I go towards the entrance of
Oh,
the
sorry.
mine?
I'm sorry. Yes, you are on the other side. You have kind of
Yeah,
disappeared
I'm on
off.
the
Do you want to stay there or do you want to come back? Because you've seen what the situation is there.
I would have come back.
Okay.
Back.
So just to get you all in the same place, we'll say that a few minutes have come by. We'll say Ajay has just started beginning to stalk this creature when you all get back. You kind of have a choice right now where do you want to follow one of these creatures into the mine shaft, or do you want to head back to the main entrance, where by the time Kaka comes back, you think you can hear a bit of commotion out there.
I'd run towards seeing Kaka on the other side. I'd probably run towards Ajay and Mugu only because just to let them know what this thing is. So I quickly go running towards them and I'm like, they're Rakshasas. I don't know who dropped them here, but they're after the gold here. They can't be controlled, so be careful. They work together also, okay? So don't go anywhere by yourself.
So you're saying they are attracted to gold? Ajay takes out a gold piece and gives out a big whistle.
Okay.
Come on, boy.
All right. You see the Rakshas it's pretty much already sniffing down the thing, and it hears you. It turns around, and it even its eyes are like these tiny little things. You don't even notice the eyes. You see the coloration around it that makes it the eye area look much larger and fiercer. It lifts its head and starts smelling, right? It's got this flat face with just like these large nostrils in the front. It smells, and then just kind of goes back to further down. You would know that even though it's a gold coin for valuation, it's not really made of gold.
Oh, interesting.
I put it back. And yeah.
No, don't do that right now. Listen, there's some noise also coming from the outside. I don't know if we can take so many of them by ourselves, really.
What if I rush in, bring it out, and then we go deal with that?
Yeah, but I don't know how many more people will come, no? Suddenly out of nowhere, these 6 holes came up. I was going to say upstairs, but yeah, upstairs. Suddenly out of nowhere, 6 holes came upstairs. I don't know what will come now.
At that point, I come running up. Henry, the entrance is completely jammed. The people are not able to come out only. It is a very difficult situation. What's happening here?
Did you see the stage? I don't think we're getting that money anymore.
I was on the stage, yeah.
Where is money?
Unfortunately, in this, I did not see, but in this situation, I do not think we could be blamed in any way for allowing things to happen. Is there, it is a Tuesday, did we account for dimensional tears happening on a Tuesday? I don't think anyone was prepared for such a thing to occur.
As this conversation is happening, Ajay will slowly slink back towards the entrance and then just turn and run towards that thing.
Oh shit.
Mugu runs after him with Vajram. No, but she tells Vajram to wait outside.
Oh!
Okay.
What is happening?
All right. Now you guys have to make a quick decision. Kaka and Madam, are you guys running after Ajay or?
Well,
Ajay
at this point, is he running towards the entrance? Is he running towards the entrance?
He's running down.
He will shout out that I'll just be back. If I can anger it enough to come after me, we can have both options. Trust me.
Hey, we can't let this fellow run off like this, yeah.
He's already run off, madam. How do we do? He's already run off, I say.
I'm going to bodily tackle Ajay to the ground.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You won't be able to catch him because he has
range.
Yeah, he has a
That's why I'm running. I know I won't be able to do it because I'm also very weak. But that's why I'm running.
Okay, so you're chasing after him. So 2 of your party have gone down one of the mine shaft. Are you guys following or not?
Hey, might as well go after them.
But did we hear some commotion coming from the gate?
From,
Was
yeah,
that where you heard
from
the?
where the dwarven settlement yeah,
Oh,
You know, the best
oh
advice for
shit!
TTRPG is
is
split the
split.
party.
Please don't do that.
No, 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 no,
It's
no.
they're not going to survive.
Well,
Listen, we'll go get them and take him back, okay? I think Ajay needs to have like a little bit and we'll
we
get him
need to
back.
have a word with that boy. We need to have a word with that boy. This
I
is
know.
not. This is unlike just.
Just last week he did this. We complained to him also yesterday, but no, again he does it today also.
And with that, you guys start chasing after him. We will say that's where we'll pick up next time, as you guys all run down these mine shafts after a bunch of gold-eating Rakshas. And
Mostly after Ajay.
And mostly after Ajay. I mean, you're chasing the Rakshas, everyone else is just chasing you.
Oh my
This
god.
is gonna like end in a party that in like 5 minutes, and then the rest of the time we can just talk about how cool Bludgeon is.
Yeah, it's just like Bludgeon. It's an amazing system. You only die if you make stupid decisions. Like this.
Glad nobody's making them. by the way.
But see, this is the thing. To be fair, our man did say it in his introduction, that he's here for the idiots. An important representation.
You can't say I'm not delivering.
But just one point of order, Vajram is outside. He's not dying today. I don't care. Bogu might die, but he's staying alive.
Carry on our adventure.
Yeah.
I swear, Bajrang must be having a wild time. I just joined this really sweet, holy person on the trip, and now we're stuck in this underground place. Dogs are flying from the roof.
I mean, Bird should have had some idea when Mugu started roaming around with this ADHD fueled little demon of a man.
Yeah, Celeste and Aditya is
Yeah.
good pet.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
What hell? By the way.
But I guess with that, we can call it. Thanks for everybody who's watched and tuned in. I hope you guys had fun. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, and right before we do, quick round of self-introductions. People, give us your name, your your what you're up to's stuff. Let's start with Bludgeon Master himself. Tejas,
Okay.
what's happening?
Yeah.
Thank you. I am, in my free time, just shoring up bits and pieces of Bludgeon, trying to make the rule book as pretty as possible. I should be launching to itch with the quick guide version of the game, hopefully soon. I say that with quotes because I only have so much free time. But you can find me and just see updates about what my progress is on Twitter at Tactics and Chai, with that is in capital N in the middle of Tactics and Chai. And yeah, who'd like to go next?
How about we go in order of the tile screen? Shweta, you're next.
Hi, I'm Shweta. I work on nothing because I don't do anything other than work. And instead of any promotion, I'll say once when I was a kid, I ate a cake that had ants on it, and my lips grew twice the size that they were. So that was fun.
My god.
Real life is big.
Bear Grylls would be proud.
Next we have Abhishek. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm actually Kush. This is my alt. This is how I look without my hair. Sorry, guys. Not as sexy, I know, but I'm trying to change my look. Tell me what it looks like.
What do you feel about paladins?
Paladins are nice. I mean, decent.
Oh, that's all I need. That's all I need. Next.
I mean, that's what I had to say. I actually hate them.
I see Abhishek is more of a barbarian, honestly. Like if there was a trope, if we had to be classist.
Big words for someone in reckless attack range.
It's even funnier because you're in the frames right next to each other.
Yeah.
But yes, Aadi, tell us about yourself.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Hi people. I'm Aadi. I am a writer, illustrator, editor, and I'm working on establishing a small business that is called Noonlight Creations. That is N, not M. Noonlight. Come into the shade. Find a weave of aesthetic that suits your fancy, and if you can't find it, like, I'll make it for you, because I do a lot of things. I work with a lot of different materials. I 3D print. I do 3D pen printing, like, to make stuff as well. I work with clay. I work with resin. I work with wood. I work with inks. An example would be my
So cool.
my abjuration
Nice.
pendant that I've made, which is essentially the small head of it's supposed to be a pseudo dragon, but for fans of the game, this is actually the dragon from Skyrim, from this thing. But I make other stuff, which is also, I mean, if you like, arcane circles and sigils and stuff. I make stuff like that, and they're going to be in different levels of detail. And I also make some 3D models involving stuff like this, which is like, expanse fans, like, in the house. So, like, if there is, this is thankfully a free model. I think that Chap forgot to mention it, that it wasn't for commercial distribution. No one tell him. But like I have some models, and I'm going to be picking up 3D modeling as well. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
sorry, that went on for a bit. I tend to ramble. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's really cool shit. You know what? You know on whom you wouldn't find all that? On some shitty paladin. That's a hashtag. You can come at me at the comments. Hashtag push opinion. That's true. That's how I actually feel. I can just tell everyone on my alt account.
On your Finsta. But hello everyone. I'm Kshema, also known as Kumi online. I'm also streaming on Girls Run These Worlds on Sundays, which is tomorrow. So if you are into Greek adventures, you can watch that for a bit of madness. We're currently at sea, and I'm playing a barbarian Goliath who has a knack with the bagpipes. But apart from that, I run a small store called Kumi Curiosities. You can find that on Twitter and Instagram, and that's from me. Thank you everybody for joining us for our first session of Bludgeon. Please go and follow Tactics and Chai on Twitter for more Bludgeon lore, because there's an insane amount of it. And all the lovely art that we have is from the book itself. And I'm going to put the names of the artists also in the credits so you can check them out. But thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next Saturday at 8 p.m. IST. Good night.
Bye, everybody.